Hmm. Okay. It's quite strange. We still have three, two more people that were supposed to be here. Um, three. One of them told us she was not going to make it, but the other two have just, not shown up. Don't know why. Okay, let's resume. So, differences in this wonderful Harry Potter guy. How has he changed? What has he changed? In what ways is he different? In what ways is he still the same?
I think that it's the same in the aspects that he's always brave, you know,
Mm.
or he can get with that things, you know. He's afraid, of course, because well, he's a person, but I think now it's my point of view. He's brave always. He's always brave. He always sorry wants to
Face.
face, you know.
Yeah.
And yes, and in this movie we can see, for example, that he can join to the to the to the Phoenix Order, you know, and Sirius is he agrees, you know, and the adults see Harry like it's just a kid. For example, Hermione, the mother's Ron's mother, is just a kid. No, just that, you know. But in that part, we can see that Harry doesn't feel that he thinks that it's unfair, not knowing things, you know. And I think that Cedric's death was so important to for Harry, for that evolution in the personality or in the character, because he saw death, you know,
Mm.
and it was so hard for him, of course, for everybody. We can see, for example, in the parts, well, when he knew Luna, uh, Luna says to him about the creatures. I don't remember the name,
The
but
Thestros.
yes, you can see them because
Yeah.
only people that could see the death, and it's so deep, that part, you know, because it's like not all the people see death like three stars, like for example Luna or Harry. So I think that Harry is like, well, I saw this and I have to leave this, and well, what's next, you know? Uh, yes, it's like, but notice what's next. Just solving things. It's like it is the part that I have to deal with.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
you know, I saw
Yeah.
Voldemort. I saw Cedric died.
Mm.
I have to fight because of that. So well,
Even if we look at the pictures, we can see the difference. I think that we have this smiling face when he was a child, and then we have this anger face when now I think that he's in the transition of becoming the hero. Um, and apart from that, I mean the physical appearance. I remember that in the last fight, while they were fighting, Sirius Black said to him, "Well done, James," or something of the
Yes.
sort. Well, referring to the father, maybe because he was very alike. So, and I think that he is changing. He's in the process of changing with all this internal conflict that we all know. And apart from that, as Solis said, that he had to face death, not only once, right? Many times. So he's not a child anymore. So he's trying to say, come on, I need no protection. I'm not a child anymore. So, and I think that everything is related to this internal conflict that he has in this movie. And well, of course, a new one, a new death appears in this movie with the Sirius Black's death. And well, here we are with that face in the picture, this angry face.
Yeah, the anger side, the angry era for Harry.
Yes.
Yes. We're going to talk about how he deals with Sirius's death and everybody else actually. But do we have any other comments about his evolution as a character?
Sorry, maybe I can add that talking about Sirius, Sirius says, Harry, all of us have both sides, a dark side and I don't know how to say, a clear side. I don't know. All of that, we have shadows and well, and light. It's in our decision in which part we can we want to be in. And in that, yes, in that dialogue we can see that, because he feels so anger, and Sirius tells that phrase, and well, we can see in that.
So he had to choose. He had to choose, and that I think that's quite evident, almost at the very, very end, when he was together with Dumbledore, almost possessed by Voldemort and all that, and he had to decide. Well, I couldn't remember that phrase, but yes, you were right. Yes, good point. Good point. Well, what about the next one?
What about the next one? Anyone else? Nothing else to say? Let's pass on to the following and last, and third, actually, question, which deals with the prophecy. This situation that becomes the central issue at some point in the movie. This idea that said this prophecy that said that the one with the power, excuse me, I cannot read. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, and the Dark Lord shall mark him as his equal, but he shall have the power the Dark Lord knows not, for neither can leave while the other survives. This is going to become like the thing at some point in the movie, like I said, and is going to haunt Harry for a while, as he keeps seeing Voldemort's actions in his dreams. So it becomes like a big thing, like I said. So is the prophecy and the and knowing about it relevant for the development of both characters and the story itself? What do you think? Was it actually relevant, the prophecy? Well, I kind of said it was, but you can have a different opinion.
Of course. I've got a question about the prophecy. Well, I'm sorry, but I can't remember. Where does that prophecy come from? Well, this is for everyone. For everyone. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay because Marielle, you're going to say something. Yes.
The prophecy is from the professor. I don't remember, Emma.
Trelawney.
One of the professors.
Yes, of the Trelawney teacher. Yes.
Look at that. That was in the previous film.
No, it's just
no, in the book.
Yes.
It's in the book.
Exactly.
Ah, all right. Well, that's why I didn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, because
In
the
the
film doesn't mention.
Ah,
yeah,
well,
it
that's
doesn't
so.
mention Trelawney. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
it doesn't.
okay. Good point.
I believe she didn't
Yeah.
want to. They didn't want to pay Trelawney actors back again because she was like completely gone for these movies. Then she returns, I think, for the following, because is the same actor from the first movies. She's just not here, so they decided to make Dumbledore give Harry this concept, this prophecy idea, which is, I believe, the moment in which we are seeing where they are sitting together and say, "Well, look, Harry, blah 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 blah."
That was the voice.
Yeah, that was the voice. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else about the prophecy? The prophecy.
Caro, you are quite silent today.
She's struggling. Yeah, I
Uh,
think she's struggling.
Yes, but I'm learning.
You can take down note of everything so that when you rewatch or when you watched actually the previous movies, you say, it was because of that, it was because of that, it was because of that. Like, for instance, they mentioned Cedric, for example, and Cedric is completely, he doesn't appear except for a flashback, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Cedric
Only for
appeared
that.
in the previous movie. Let's not say anything else about Cedric for Caro because she will probably watch the fourth one, and we don't want to spoil anything else. Yes. We highly recommend you watch them, all of them, Caro, because we will probably deal with a sixth one in the future. So in case you want to join us, so that at least you have an idea what's going on. Right. What else? Nothing else? Pao, how are you doing? We cannot see you, but I hope you're there. I believe she's there. All right, let's carry on with the following question then.
Let's believe so.
Which deals with
For me,
fear. We were talking.
sorry.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
the prophecy is like it's not so important. It's important, but not so much, because it's like, well, now we know that one lives and the other not, but for me it's obvious. It's like
It's like it makes sense.
yes, at least to me, it's like it has no sense because it's obvious that they are going to fight sometime and they cannot live in the same world because of Voldemort, because Harry is like, well, I have to deal with it. But for me, it's not so important because it's not relevant. You know what I mean?
Yes. And at one point, yes.
Maybe in that chat, he realize or accept that destiny that one of them is going to die, and in following movies, the descent to the Hades,
Yeah.
following Greek mythology, is the way that he is going to win.
Well, we're all coughing here, Marielle. You, me, all of us. Don't worry about it. It's the weather, I think. Yes. The prophecy in a way tells us or tells everyone like, okay, this is your destiny. This is what will happen. So you either embrace it or you try to do the best you can fighting against it. And I think Harry goes both ways actually, because he says, well, fine, I'm going to die, I'm going to, but at the same time, he doesn't want to go how do they say in English? He doesn't want to go lightly on it, he doesn't want to go happily to his final destination or death. he's going to fight for it. So I think that's what makes the following movies interesting. And fear continues being a relevant issue because, as we were saying before, I believe that with Azkaban it starts like, okay, this is going to be scary. It becomes truly really scary in the fourth one, with death, the first death in the saga, and and how is fear portrayed in this one, and how is it utilized as a motivating factor for characters? There are different manifestations of fear, and actually, we can go from the most mystical perspective to a more realistic one. But what do you say? How is fear portrayed? How is it used? Good. Everybody's thinking about the question.
Well, I can see that, for example, in the Dumbledore's army, we can see how teenagers face the fear, learning how to defend them. They have fear. That's why they decided how they can be
how they can protect themselves.
Yes, they protect themselves. Oh, Spanglish. And well, for example, in that aspect, we can see that, for example, or we can see how Neville is when Neville tells the story of their parents to Harry. He says, well, that I don't know, that curse, because the Cruciatus curse was Bellatrix killed my parents with the Cruciatus curse, but I don't know if I'm still prepared to tell that to the world. I don't know, that kind, something like this. And Neville is afraid, but he's still, but he wants to learn because he wants to be like his parents, for example. I think so. He's afraid about the knowledge, that information, but he choose to fight. For example, I don't know.
Yeah, and we are talking about one of the most scaredy cats character from the beginning. I mean, Neville was visibly scared of everything, and he was very cautious about what he was about to say or what he was about to do, and he starts this change that he's going to go through for the following movies. And if you have watched all of them, we know how important he becomes in the last one. I believe he starts this journey right now in this movie, in which he starts to open up, about his past and the deepest fears that he has. Yeah.
Well, I think that Umbridge is a kind of metaphor for fear.
It is.
This inclusion, yeah. Well, and apart from that, the institution as a main topic is also important, because the idea of establishing rules through fear, is to the idea was to take care of the institution as it was. Nothing happens here. Everything has to remain like this. No danger outside. Come on. But the idea, I think that the inclusion of this character, at least in this film, is to transmit fear. Well, that is what I think about this Umbridge. Yeah. Mariela, you wanted to say something.
Something like that. The Minister of Magic his head Butch.
Yeah.
He is fear of the truth. So that's why he silenced the truth.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
one.
yes, he was afraid of truth.
Many institutions, when they lack the authority to inspire respect, they decide to
To use.
instill fear through power, because they have power. They do not have authority, but they have power. So Dolores is the
Yes, it was the
worst or the
instrument.
biggest
Yeah, it was
instrument,
a
yes,
weapon. It
for
was the
this.
instrument. It was the instrument. Yeah, that the minister used. Right.
She was the bishop, like in chess.
Yeah.
In chess, she was the bishop for the ministry of accessing Hogwarts and destroying it little by little from there.
Abril.
Abril, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about this fear? How is fear portrayed and utilized?
I think that it's really interesting to think about that, because you have like this group of people that are taking part in Gryffindor, and it's like the house of bravery, and we see that it's not really like that. For example, Neville in the start, he didn't look like a real Gryffindor, but he starts evolving to become into one. But on the other hand, you have Peter Pettigrew, and he is a Gryffindor, but he doesn't take he really reminds me of this phrase of fear makes people do terrible things, because he doesn't want to confront or face the problems, so he just do what the minister does, adapt to them in a terrible way.
Definitely. Was Peter a Gryffindor? I don't remember that.
Yes, well, in the books it's better explained, but when Harry sees Snape's memory, then you have like a look of what was like the school before, when his father was there.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, and like it's a great contradiction, like you mentioned, how someone who appeared to be weak and fearful as Neville becomes brave, and then you have Pettigrew, who I didn't know was a Gryffindor, who is represented by a rat. so, so yes, that's a major change. Two different people, becoming someone in the magical world as they grow up. Very different someone's, obviously. Yes. Anything else about fear? Bao, were you able, sorry, to manage your?
think
Yes,
that the character of Dolores Umbridge is it's very well portrayed, because the way that she is presented, her physical characteristics and the colors she chooses to wear, but then she and inside her office, the decoration, it's all portraying something which is the opposite. And in the phrase that it says that fear makes people do terrible things, it's true, because she has no problem torturing students to protect them from what she thinks and the ministry thinks it's what they are protecting them. And I think it's interesting how people will hurt you, or will hurt students, or educators will hurt students just out of this sense of protection, and they are doing the opposite. And I think that's interesting to see. Harry is physically damaged and physically hurt, and we can say physically abused by a teacher with a curse, and her reason is just, we are doing this to protect you, so you don't get hurt more than this. And in an institution where students live all year long there, it's dangerous, and it's terrifying to observe, because they have no protection from their parents. In that movie, they are all by themselves. So okay, to each their own. Do what you can with this situation, and they still endure this and go through this terrible process. But the adults that are supposed to protect students, like Umbridge and Dumbledore, who his reason is, okay, Harry, I am away just to protect you, but leaves Harry alone, and he has to fend for himself. And we don't have to forget that although they are growing, their personality is changing, and they are seeing the terrible world, they are still young people who need protection from adults, particularly their father figures. Dumbledore is a great father figure for Harry, and in this movie he's gone like father figures in real life, and he is gone, and Harry has to do what he can. Thankfully, they manage, but because they are resourceful, and they have magic. But imagine if they are just normal teenagers. If they were just normal teenagers, I don't know. I don't want to imagine what would have happened in that case.
Yeah, they would probably have gone into some addiction problem or doing something illegal in the street or yeah. But this sense of abandonment, for Harry being the second time that he's abandoned by, well, abandoned. I mean, his parents did not abandon him on purpose, but Dumbledore does, in a way. It's like, okay, I'm going to help you with me leaving. Goodbye, boom, and he's gone. It's like a bit like, okay, Harry goes, okay, not again. I'm alone. I mean, my father figure is gone again. So, yeah, that's a bad thing. Paulina, you made it. You could finally, yes. Anything about fear? Anything you would like to say about fear?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, she's okay again. Well, it's all right. It's all right. It's good that you're okay at least, Paulina. We're going to deal with our next question then, which deals with I hate her, and I love that I hate her because she's so good, Dolores and Dumbledore. This has to do with leadership and what different styles do Dumbledore and Dolores Umbridge show, and what values does each one of them represent? Each one of them represent, yes. So, interesting question.
Well, Umbridge represents the authoritism, tyranny, maybe.
Yeah.
With all the facts that I don't remember her name. She said, hurting the students, punishment, on all that thing. She's so authoritarian and try to make the student fear of her. So that's the way she becomes the authority. So I'm the boss here. Just do what I wanted to do. You to do. Sorry.
Yes, you will have no choice. I am the boss. Yeah. What else? Yes, Sole.
Yes,
Well,
adding about the authoritism, about, for example, according to the methods that Umbridge uses, they are so, I don't know the word, but well, they are old-fashioned. Old-fashioned, thank you. Yes, they are old-fashioned. Yes, because well, it's like you have to write. I don't know how many times. I have to, for example, this one. I must not tell lies, for example, but with a special pen, for example. Despite the fact that Harry has to use a special pen that hurts his hand. He has to write so many
I think that was
times.
not just old-fashioned. I think that was torturing. It was torture.
It was
Yeah,
sadistic.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But for example, it's like a method that some, I don't know, teachers, but torturing, I don't know, my parents or our grandparents told us that, maybe the teacher could,
Yeah,
for
well, yeah.
example,
Yes,
I
I
don't
see
know
the
how to
point.
say, could punish a student physically.
Yeah.
Physically, yes. Yeah, that was a
Am
reality.
I
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
You're
it
right.
was a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a thing in the past.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, the method, trying to take control of the situation, and taking control of the teenagers. We can see the difference with Dumbledore. That Dumbledore is my point of view. Sorry, motorcycle.
Mhm.
I can see that, for example, yes, because I am talking now. And Dumbledore is a kind of leader, but a real leader, a director whom teachers respect, and Dolores, they are afraid of Umbridge.
Mm.
That is the main difference. For
Right.
example,
Literature through fear, as we were speaking about some minutes
yeah,
before.
that,
Yes. And I
Oh,
was
gosh.
thinking about something that Lourdes said about this contradicting stereotype that we have with the color. For example, I mean, Umbridge wearing color pink, all the
yeah,
picture cats pictures at this decoration. So you may think, well, that is a very nice lady. Look at her,
yeah.
right? And then when when we see her acting, and well, we can see that she is not. And apart from
It's the devil.
yeah, yeah, and that is what quite contradicting, because maybe we expect something, and that something is not real. It's quite the opposite. So I think that was very interesting in the portrayal of this character. I think that was interesting. Yeah.
People used to think the same about Mirta Legrand until she started talking about, political things. She was like, "Oh, such a nice lady," blah 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 blah, and then she said, "Well, con los militares we were better." So that's when you say, "Okay, it's not so nice, not so not so nice." Anyway, what else?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
else?
man.
Yeah, I have a kind of controversial opinion, but I think that at some point, being evil and how she is a bit iconic, because she takes all these I don't know how to say, features that are related to, I don't know, pink, femininity, and submissive, and she used it to put her authority in them.
Mhm.
When you go
Yeah,
to the Potterhead fandom, there are more posts related to hating Umbridge than Voldemort, because Voldemort is a more common villain, dark, and Umbridge is not like that. So yeah.
right. Yes. Yeah, that's why I think that is very interesting. This character is very interesting. And Matthias was saying at the beginning, it was, I think, quite iconic. Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
she is. She is.
yeah,
I don't
definitely.
know, then I do not recognize the actress. I don't know. I think that she's quite famous, right?
Yeah, she's a
But
queen now.
yes. Yeah, yes, you're right.
Yeah, she has a lot. All right, all
I
right,
don't,
Paulina.
yeah, I don't like how Dumbledore decides to be a leader. He's
Mm,
like he's not present in Harry's life,
mm,
even though he's supposed to take care of him. Um, we focus so much on Umbridge that we don't realize that Dumbledore is not even there to be like a leader or a father to him, to Harry. And he's always making or not explaining Harry things, or not giving him all the information that he has to give him.
Yes, too much mystery. Too much mystery. He was quite a mysterious man.
His character still is, up to this day, he's very mysterious. Even with the new movies, we still don't understand that man. If we have to compare leadership, I would like to talk about Professor Lupin from the previous movies, because he was a role model for Harry, and we can see it in this movie when he decided to teach his classmates. The style that he used, even the way he dressed with kind of a vest, with, no, it was like a cardigan. It was very reminiscent of Professor Lupin. So Dumbledore, yes, it's a present figure, an important figure. Maybe in the previous movies, it was better portrayed, his leadership and his guidance. But in this movie, he just disappeared. Like Pau said, where is Dumbledore? We don't know. We don't know where he is. So maybe Professor Lupin and Umbridge, they can be great characters to compare in terms of teaching methods and the influence that they have on students. Because this woman, she really brought the worst, or she really brought the best in the worst students when she created this little band to persecute the rest of the students. So different teachers bring to the surface different qualities in different people, different students. And we can see this very clearly between Lupin and Umbridge. Even though Lupin it's gone as a teacher, his teachings or his presence still remains, and I like that. It's a quality of great teachers. I still remind some great characteristics of previous teachers I had, even in primary school. So I think that's important, and it's portrayed here very very nicely.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, yes. Dumbledore, what's going on with you? Come on, stop being so mysterious, man. We do not understand anything of your plans. Nobody does, actually, but except for himself. Perhaps Snape, you know. But that's basically it. Is it explained in the book where he goes when he makes these vanishing acts? Do we know? Yes. All right. Because it's not very clear in the movie where he leaves. But anyway, okay, we have less than 2 minutes left, but we're almost there. The last question dealt with friendship and coping with loss, and the question was, how does friendship and loyalty help characters to overcome adversity, and is it helpful for Sirius or Harry when coping with loss? We're going to discuss this last question in our next part, next and final stage of the meeting. Okay, so let's rejoin briefly. Be right back. Okay. Okay, there we